Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. Today is November 28th, Tuesday to be exact, roughly around 9:21 in the a.m. Central Time. Market is open for almost an hour here, just over 50 minutes. And as we get into the open here, stocks have started to slip. What does that mean? Well, not much, but markets have gone into that supply zone and slowed down here for the past 3 to 4 days after this rocket ship of a move to the upside since October 30th. So that's what we're going to discuss here in the show. We'll get into stock market update. We will look at some commodities, futures contracts. We will peek at Bitcoin with that topping 37,000 once again. HNT looking good. And we'll round it out with some potential options plays moving forward. So as always, I got to do my little disclaimer. Just got to make everybody happy there, just because there is risk in trading and investing. You can well lose money at one point in your life. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only, mainly mine. But hopefully you find it entertaining as well. That being said, here is your S&P 500 SPY ETF update. Market is open 454.20 as we speak, down about 0.6% of the day, so we'll call it flat on the day. Markets didn't really do a whole lot yesterday. It was down ever so slightly yesterday, but markets have really slowed the action here the last few days coming out of the Thanksgiving holiday. So not a whole lot to speak of with the S&P 500. Dow Jones Industrial Average, DIA, or the Diamond we'll call it, is at 350, 360. Same story last few days. It's just kind of been hesitating here, nearing those highs from looks like July of this past summer. So the summer doldrums, we're back at that area. That's your Dow Jones, currently up on the day 0.1%. You got the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, 388.92. Currently, we'll call it flat, but then again, it is down 0.07% on the day. Same story, looking just like the S&P 500. This has breached those highs from July 19th, but we are in a area that it's just been kind of sitting in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days after the drop here, or after the big rise here since October 30th. So that's your QQQ update on the day. IWM, which is your the Russell 2000, 178 even for price. Currently, the lagger of the three, down 0.45% on the day. And this one has been sitting here ever since November 14th. In this same exact price, roughly, after that big gap up on the 14th, actually, and closing at that high. It's right at exactly at that price. So price hasn't done anything here for about 2 weeks. So that's your IWM update. Other ETF notables to speak of, nothing's really moving big other than oil is up 0.8%. It's about 57 cents. But it is down since the open. So we're showing weakness out of the open after it gapped up here today on Tuesday. XLU is up 0.5%. Other than that, kind of a mixed bag here today. Let's check the news and see if there's any news coming up either today or maybe even tomorrow, where the market just is kind of waiting for that. So today we'll look at Forex Factory. Today's Tuesday. You have consumer confidence at 9 o'clock here today. Nothing to speak of there. New Zealand has their RB, the bank statement there, looking to stay at 5.5% for the official cash rate. That was a statement right after that, but that'll be at 7 p.m. Central Time. So really nothing that the market is waiting for. Let's check Wednesday, see if anything's happening there. Preliminary for the GDP quarter-over-quarter, for the USD, for the United States. That's Wednesday. Thursday, unemployment and core PCE. Friday. Friday Powell speaks, so I'm not sure if there's any major news to speak of there, but markets. Then that being said, markets have slowed down here the last week or so. So not doing a whole lot after the great move to the upside. We'll call it the great succession the last few weeks here. That's your ETF update. Let's get into some more commodities. I just want to look at the spot, the actual price for crude oil, $75.50. So currently up almost 0.9% of the day, coming right out of that supply zone to the downside. And yes, we are continuing this downtrend since its highs from back at the end of September. Now we could see this potentially keep going down to probably reach those lows of $66. I would say it'll probably breach those lows and go lower and try to find that $63 per barrel. But that being said, we are in a downtrend and we are holding that supply on the daily zone there. So that's our crude oil. Let's go to see corn. Corn futures are down. Not looking too good for corn. Let's see what the news is. Morning recovery in corn. Wheat steadies after slide with export demand in focus. Corn weaker on MY low shipments. I don't know what low is. That's from bar chart. So let's go and look at wheat, since that one's pretty volatile here, but it's at the lows here and still in a very slow downtrend, but we're showing bigger moves with wheat. Gold continuing to the upside. I like that for us physical holders, and yes, we have breached that supply zone finally that it's held one time, breached or dropped off it twice. And quite frankly, this is a kind of textbook. It went out of our demand zone all the way to our supply zone, came down to our demand zone at about 1927 that we had talked about, and now we're breaching the supply zone. So the supply zone is no longer valid and no longer holding. And quite frankly, these are the highs. That might be all-time highs for gold. So gold is currently at $20,024 per troy ounce. So looking good for those gold holders. Silver, $24.72. That's good for us silver holders as well. Maybe it's time to sell some. That's your silver market. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has continued this uptrend. Still got to breach the highs of 38,387, but currently at 37,457 even. So looking good for Bitcoin. Still awaiting the ETF approval for Bitcoin. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Bitcoin ETF may spark TradeFi sell-off. I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. You know, the rumor, the market just spiked straight up. And that's buy the rumor. So maybe be careful as this ETF looms around, and we're going to see this ETF potentially be approved. If it is, that could be a buy the rumor, sell the actual news event. That being said, longer term, what's going to happen is if they have an ETF, these companies, it has to hold physical Bitcoin to back that. So you will probably see a lot of buying into the market. So that should, in theory, if you think about it, but theory doesn't move price, but in theory should move price to the upside. So that being said, follow your supply and demand levels and trust your charts, not my insight or entertainment. HNT 266, looking good for HNT. I like that. Currently up about 97% from the lows of September. So that's looking good for that. Let's get into our stock update. I talked about Nvidia in the headline. We pierced those all-time highs, and we've came down from that. So Nvidia is showing a little bit of weakness here, down about 6% from the highs. Currently at 476.80, down 1.15% on the day. Quite frankly, if this doesn't go to the upside, I really like this zone all the way down to the 315 area. I would love to be a buyer at 315. That being said, will it get there? It would take probably a month or so to get down there if it does. Actually, it could probably take 2 to 3 months to get down there. That's where I would like to see that come down to and potentially be a buyer with Nvidia. You never want to buy something at all-time highs and hope it goes up. That's a buy and hope strategy. So Apple currently at $190. Did some options on this a long time ago. It's too bad we did the options. Could have just bought it for $124, $125 and wrote it up. But you know what? That's trading and investing. You just never know what it's going to do. You got to manage your risk accordingly and take small risk and follow your plan. Let's see other stocks here. Airbnb's down 2%. 3M is up a little bit, 1.3. Currently at $98.35. Qualcomm's down. Alibaba's down 2.5. Let's look at our option. We did some options on JWN, the 9.5 strikes. We talked about that yesterday, and about 2.5 weeks ago, I think is when we got into them. We got an expiration on the December 8th. So hopefully those expire. We collect our premium and keep the premium and walk away. Do it again if you want to. But that being said, it's not offering the right spot for that. So that is your JWM, which is Nordstrom's. So with that strategy, you have to be willing to own it. I wouldn't care to own Nordstrom's at all. But that being said, it was a strike price that was so far out of the money. I didn't feel it was going to get down there. Even with earnings coming up, I still did it. Which typically I don't like to do that, but it was so far out, I was able to manage that risk. And we'll see. We'll see what happens when it gets down there, if it does, or if it gets to expiration. We will manage that accordingly. If it gets down there and we get the stock, we will probably sell some calls on it and keep collecting that premium until it's done, and then move on. All right. So that is JWN. TKO still having a tough time, still struggling. Is WWE, formerly known as WWE, kind of like Prince, but still struggling to the downside. Not quite a buy yet, but I would like to see this come down at least probably till maybe even the $68 range. I don't know if it'll get down. That's a long ways for it to come down. Another $10. That could happen though. Might be a buying opportunity there. Dick's Sporting Goods up 1.1. Nike, we had some options opportunities there. I like Nike. Not because I like Nike shoes, but yes, I do like them, but whatever. All right, let's pick up some options here. I want to see if there's any opportunities in the options market. We will scan for... What we'll do is we'll scan the percent Bollinger Band just as where is price now and where has it been and where could it go. WBA, which is Walgreens. Ooh, this actually might have some meat on the bone here. So Walgreens currently at $19.91. Volatility is high in a downtrend. I do like Walgreens long term. We will have to find, I'm going to put a line here and try to find a demand zone. Before we do that, I'm just going to look at the options and see if there's any options premium with Walgreens. We'll look at the 29th. The 18s are giving 1%, so let's just even go look and see if the 18s are even worth it. Probably not. Another 10% to the downside. See if we have any demand zones nearby. I do not see anything. I'll have to do some more analysis on this. Let's go to the other chart. Walgreens, WBA. WBA, look on TradingView. This hasn't been down to $19 since, wow, probably ever. Nope, since 1999. This could potentially be a buying opportunity. But that being said, I would be a buyer, or probably wait to be a buyer. Probably not till $16. Might be a potential opportunity with Walgreens there. But then again, it's only 9% lower. So I'm going to look at that a little bit later. So that's Walgreens. UNG, which is your natural gas. I'm not going to look at that one because that's going to be a volatile ETF, I believe it is. AMC, not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Caterpillar is low on the percent Bollinger Band, but not low enough. Our opportunity was already back on in the beginning of end of October. Came right down to our demand zone, exactly where we wanted to go, but we missed that opportunity. And Walmart is the other one. So let's go to the other side. See if we can buy any puts with anything. GLD. Not volatile enough. Silver, or too high. Coca-Cola. That's going to be a low volatility stock. Might be a selling opportunity when we get up to the $61 mark. As long as you feel those are cheap enough to buy some puts on that, that would be a shorting opportunity. But that being said, you got to analyze that first. Don't just go do it just because I said. Remember, this is just strictly for my entertainment. So that's your options updates. So it might be maybe some meat on the bone with Walgreens. I'm going to do some more analysis when I can sit down here and take some time to do that with Walgreens. That being said, that's your stock market and overall market update for the day, cryptocurrency and everything, and your commodity update. So we will do another update tomorrow. As always, we appreciate the listeners, especially on the Spreaker app, Spreaker. Make sure to subscribe so you get notified when the show goes live each and every single day. And for those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, thank you for that. As always, collect your profits when they're given to you. Protect your losses, keeping them small. Until next time, retire young, my friends.